It starts in silence. That's where fear hides, not in the loud disasters, but in the soft hesitations, in the breath you hold before you speak, in the steps you never take. The rope doesn't yank, it whispers. Stay here, be careful, wait. But waiting becomes your grave. The rope doesn't protect you, it strangles you slow, soft enough that you think you're still breathing, until you realize you've been surviving, not living. You've been shrinking, not choosing. You've been worshiping fear like it's a god, but it's a ghost with no spine. You look down, and the rope is wrapped around your ankles, your wrists, your throat, tied with every memory that told you you're not enough, woven from every voice that said, don't try, don't fail, don't rise. You didn't tie it, but you've been carrying it, sleeping with it, praying with it, letting it guide you like it knows where you're going. It doesn't. Fear knows nothing but circles. It keeps you close to comfort and far from courage. It sells you safety while stealing your soul. And the worst part, you believed it was helping, but not today. Today, you stop pretending the rope is love. Today, you stop calling fear your friend. Today, you cut the rope or die small. The lie is this: fear keeps you alive. No, instinct keeps you alive. Fear keeps you limited. Fear isn't truth. It's memory on loop. It's the voice of your past, wearing your voice like a mask. It sounds like you, but it isn't. It's the script someone else handed you when you were too young to say no. Say no now. Say it louder than the voice in your head. Say it until your hands start shaking. Then keep saying it, because this is the moment, right here, right now, in the stillness, in the sweat, in the chaos. You get to decide if this rope becomes your story or your rebellion. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. That line isn't decoration. It's declaration. It's war cry and homecoming. It's the part of you that never forgot who you are, under the hesitation, under the conditioning, under the years of sitting still when your soul was screaming to move. You don't need more time. You don't need more clarity. You don't need more approval. You need a blade. You need a moment. You need to say the words, "Fear is a liar, and today I cut the rope." Cut it and stand taller. Cut it and breathe deeper. Cut it and feel your own weight, not the world's. Because even now, in this quiet resistance, you are preparing to rise. You've been doing it all along. In the way you keep waking up, in the way you ache for more, in the way your spirit whispers, there's something beyond this, and there is. But first, the cut. FDR stood before a broken nation and said the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, not enemies, not failure, not darkness, but fear, the thing that paralyzes you before the fight even begins. He named it, and naming it is how you kill it. So what's the name of your rope? Doubt? Guilt? The voice of your father? The silence of your mother? The one time you tried and it all collapsed? Name it, then whisper goodbye. Because this rope, it's firewood now. This fear, it's ash waiting for wind. And this moment, it's your blade. Say it again. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Say it until your bones believe you. Say it like there's no rewind. Say it like your next breath depends on it. Because it does. Cut the rope or stay small. Cut the rope or stay safe. Cut the rope or die wondering. No more waiting. Say it again. I'm not done yet. You won't kill fear at the surface. You won't kill it with fake light and empty affirmations. You have to descend. Not away from yourself, into yourself. Down where it's dark, where the rope leads. Into the storm beneath the floorboards. The basement where your story began. Where fear first learned your name. Where silence taught you how to shrink. You were just a child the first time it wrapped around your ankles. Not loud, not violent, just tight. A single word, a single look. A door closed that should have stayed open. That's where fear was born. Not in danger, in interpretation. Not in failure, in the meaning you gave it. You thought it was your fault, so you buried it. You thought pain made you weak, so you swallowed it. Now it owns you. The storm doesn't rage above. It churns beneath, in your memories, in your wiring, in the version of you you never let speak. You want to rise. You have to go down. You want to be free. You have to visit the room where the lies started. Descend, slowly, eyes open, chest cracked, because you're not here to break. You're here to reclaim. This basement, it's not punishment. It's proof that you've survived, that you've endured, that there's something in you deeper than fear. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate." This is the moment you stop calling fear fate. You dig into the storm, and it screams back. Old voices, old failures. That moment you tried to speak, and no one listened. That year you gave your all, and still fell short. That scar you never gave yourself permission to look at. But it's not about reliving. It's about revealing, seeing the source, feeling the root, not running from it, naming it, because everything unhealed becomes repeated. This is why fear cycles. This is why you're stuck, not because you're weak, not because you're lazy, but because you're still reacting to a ghost. Not anymore. You walk into the storm, and you don't flinch. You feel it. You scream back. You grab the rope that's held you for years and realize it's wet paper now. It had power only because you gave it your silence. You're not silent now. The storm hits harder the closer you get to the center. That's how you know you're near it. That's how you know it's scared of you. Because if you stand there long enough, it has to pass. If you look it in the eyes, it can't lie. Stillness is sacred. Even in the descent, you are not alone. You don't leave pieces of yourself behind anymore. You don't abandon the scared version. You kneel down. You hold them. You say what no one ever said to you. You were never the problem. And something cracks, not in pain, in power. That's what reclamation feels like. You become whole, not by adding, but by returning. You don't destroy fear. You understand it. You strip it of its costume. You see it for what it is, a wound playing dress-up as protection. You were never meant to fear. You were built to rise. Say it again, louder this time. Mean it like your life depends on it, because it does. This basement, this storm, this darkness, it doesn't own you. It trained you. You just didn't know it until now. You don't need the rope. You don't need the story. You don't need the weight. You need the truth. And the truth is, you're not broken. You're buried. Dig. Say it again. I'm not done yet. There is a moment when rage loses its bite, when chaos burns out, and you're left with a steady flame, not flailing, but focused. You stop trying to set the world on fire. You light the forge instead. This is not anger. This is clarity. This is what happens when you descend into your storm and come out holding your pain like a weapon. You don't scream anymore. You choose, because real power isn't loud. It's locked in. They told you fear was the enemy. They were wrong. Avoidance is avoiding your past, avoiding your voice, avoiding the truth that power doesn't come from explosion. It comes from direction. Cut the rope, descend into the dark, then anchor the fire. You stand in the basement and you don't run. You feel the heat rise, and for the first time, you don't flinch. You realize the storm was never trying to drown you. It was forging you. You were never meant to fear. You were built to rise, and now you rise in flame. The subconscious mind doesn't care what you want. It follows repetition. It follows emotion. It follows what you burn into it. That's why fire matters. That's why this moment matters. Because this is the moment you decide what gets burned and what gets built. The rope is ash now. The lies, gone. What's left is yours. The flame is yours. You don't chase it anymore. You anchor it. Stillness is not surrender. It's strategy. The quiet within the fire is your new foundation. Not every battle is won by swinging. Some are won by standing still while the world shakes around you. Even fire can be quiet. This is not destruction. This is declaration. You don't burn bridges. You forge new blueprints. You become the architect, not the arsonist. You carve direction from intensity. You don't need to prove your power anymore. You know it. Your discipline becomes dangerous. Your silence becomes sacred. This is what Edison knew. The 1,000 failures weren't fire wasted. They were fire shaped, until the light bulb stayed lit, until the forge held. You're not chasing light anymore. You are the fire. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Say it again. This time, like you mean it. Like you're talking to the version of you that almost gave up. The one who thought fire meant chaos. The one who thought strength was something they had to earn from others. It's already in you. Now you own it. Burn what doesn't belong. Hold what remains. Step into the forge and stand there. You're not here to burn out. You're here to ignite. Say it again. I'm not done yet. There comes a point when the war ends, not because fear surrenders, but because you stop negotiating. No more side deals. No more silent permission slips to shrink. You stop asking fear to leave. You evict it. This is the day your breath hardens into vows. This is the day your spine remembers who it is. You're not here to talk it through. You're here to burn the bridge behind you. No mercy, no deal, no way back. You keep waiting for the fear to go quietly, but fear doesn't leave with kindness. It leaves with command. You don't ask it to let go of you. You rip yourself out of its grip. And here's the truth. Hesitation isn't caution. It's betrayal. Every delay is a lie disguised as logic. Every time you flinch, you hand your crown to the enemy. Cut the rope, kill the storm, anchor the fire. Now, swing the sword. Even warriors bleed before they conquer. Your fear isn't new. It's a ghost on repeat. A worn-out script trying to loop one more time. But the subconscious mind only stops replaying when it meets force, not feelings. Force. This is not about getting ready. This is about getting dangerous. You don't need more time. You need more truth. You need to look yourself in the eye and declare the new law. Fear doesn't get to sit at this table anymore. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Say it again. Let it break something open this time. You've danced long enough with excuses. Now you sharpen your blade and draw the line. There is no going back. The old version of you, gone. The bridge is in flames. The way forward is war, and you don't retreat from wars that matter. You don't run. You reign. Stillness is sacred, but this ain't stillness. This is strike. Napoleon didn't wait for the perfect moment. He burned the boats. He didn't need options. He needed one outcome: victory. You think that kind of fire comes from motivation? No, it comes from finality. You make the decision in blood. You cut off escape. You make success the only pulse you breathe. There is no softer version of this moment. There is only the truth, and the sword you forge to guard it. You don't ask fear to leave. You command it. Say it again. I'm not done yet. No one clapped when I turned away. No chorus, no lights, just silence, and a direction only I could feel. That's how you know it's the right path. The crowd loves comfort, but the compass you carry, it's not designed for them. It pulls you toward the unmarked, the unseen, the sacred. They don't get it, and they're not supposed to, because this call was carved for you. This vision, private. This voice, internal. The world can't validate what it can't hear. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Even silence builds vision. There's a point where applause becomes noise, where opinions blur into chains. That's when the real ones choose stillness. They trade the crowd's comfort for the compass of calling. You'll feel alone, but that's not loneliness. That's alignment. You weren't made to follow. You were made to forge, and it won't make sense to anyone else. That's the cost. That's the proof. Purpose doesn't announce itself with cheers. It whispers in the places where no one's watching. Cut the rope or die lost. You wake up and it's quiet. No map, no guide, just a pull in your chest that says, go. You try to explain it, but there are no words. Only fire. Only forward. Stillness is sacred. They'll tell you you're lost, but you've never been clearer. You've never been more aligned. Because once you stop asking for permission, your soul finally has room to speak. This is the path only warriors walk, where doubt is loud but direction is louder, where clarity is earned in the trenches of isolation. You want the real thing? You walk alone. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Say it again. Let it echo this time. You don't need the crowd. You need the code. And your code, it's carved in the dark, etched by faith, not fear. Dopamine will scream for the likes. Your nervous system will reach for safety. But the subconscious doesn't evolve through comfort. It evolves through conviction. So walk. Don't look back. Don't wait for them to get it. They can't see the mountain you're climbing because it was hidden inside you. The most dangerous compass is the one no one else believes in. Even silence builds vision. And still, the path is sacred. Still, the pull is real. Still, you walk, not to be seen, but to become. Say it again. I'm not done yet. They called you broken before you ever had a chance to build. Labeled you weak before you touched your strength. Gave you a name that didn't belong to your bones. And you wore it like armor. Not because it fit, but because it was all you knew. You weren't born that name. You were assigned it. By fear, by pain, by people who didn't stay long enough to witness your becoming. That name, it's not yours. It never was. You flinched when you should have fought. You bowed when you should have built. Because you thought survival was identity. But it's not. Survival is just the pause before power. Even letting go is an act of love. They trained your subconscious to obey the script. You internalized it, rehearsed it, played it on loop. You're too much. You're not enough. Be smaller. Be softer. Be still. That was never your truth. That was the programming. The brain doesn't seek truth. It seeks familiarity. Dopamine rewards the known, not the right. So you stayed close to the label, close to the lie, because the pain was predictable, and predictable pain is the most dangerous comfort of all. But the warrior doesn't heal by explaining their wound. The warrior heals by burying the name they were never meant to wear. Cut the rope or die lost. This is not about revenge, not about proving them wrong. It's about removing the rusted identity that's chained your voice, chained your vision, chained your rise. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Say it again. Let the old name hear it. You don't owe it a goodbye. You don't owe it a eulogy. You owe yourself release. The false you must fall, quietly, without applause, without warning. Even letting go is an act of love. They won't recognize you. That's fine. You didn't come here to be recognized. You came here to resurrect the chosen self, the real self, the name that makes your bones remember why they were built. Softly now. Feel the shift. The morning is sacred, because before a new identity can rise, the old one must burn. You don't kill it with hate. You bury it with truth. You weren't broken. You were buried. Stillness is sacred. This is your ritual, unseen, uncelebrated, unstoppable. A rebirth without ceremony, just raw decision. You don't wait for the world to approve your becoming. You declare it. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Feel it. The name is cracking. The false you is flinching. The version that begged for permission is losing oxygen, and you're not giving it mouth to mouth. You're letting it die, because what's next can't breathe until the old suffocates. You weren't made to cope. You were made to command. But command requires clarity, and clarity comes after the burial, not before. This is not a phase, not a pivot. This is a soul-level execution. Bury the name. Burn the script. Build without it. Say it again. I'm not done yet. You didn't survive just to survive. You didn't build just to stand still. You burned to become. But now it's not just about you. Now it's what you leave burning behind you. You carry the fire, not to hoard it, but to hand it forward. This was never just about freedom. It was about legacy, about becoming the proof that it's possible, and then becoming the reason someone else doesn't quit. I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. The flame you forged in silence. It's sacred now. You bled for it, fought for it, protected it through storms no one else saw. And now it's not enough to keep it to yourself. Fire unused becomes ash. Fire unshared becomes regret. Cut the rope or die lost. There comes a moment where silence is no longer strength. It's selfishness. Where healing kept to yourself becomes betrayal. You don't bury your fire to keep it safe. You lift it high so they can see what survival looks like with purpose. You're not just the warrior now. You're the torchbearer. Stillness is sacred, but silence is not. You are the moment your bloodline changes direction. You are the end of fear inheritance. You are the answer to a prayer someone else hasn't had the courage to pray yet. And if you stay quiet now, they stay lost. The subconscious doesn't just remember pain. It remembers example. your rise becomes their permission. That's how the brain works. It mirrors more than it moves. So you shine, not for applause, but for activation. Say it again. I'm not done yet. This fire does not dim when divided. It multiplies. Every time you speak, someone else wakes up. Every time you rise, someone else sees it's not too late. That's not ego. That's duty. Because if you don't carry the torch, who will? You either die with it or pass it forward. And this fire, this light, it was never yours to end. It was yours to ignite. Not to be remembered, but to be continued. Even endings are echoes of your becoming. You've buried the name. You've burned the fear. You've risen. And now the only question left is this: will your fire outlive you? I was never meant to fear. I was built to rise. Say it again. I'm not done yet.